Hello guys, Sir Grandalot here with the tier list for the patch 3.4 in Genshin Impact. It took me a little bit of time to compile this list, because there have been a few new characters released during the last few patches, and I skipped them because I'm saving for other characters that I want to get, and so I had to wait until some of my friends had those characters and had an account that would allow me to build the teams that I wanted to test. So after phishing their login details and stealing their accounts, I managed to test those characters, and I can now make a full tier list. There is a new tier here, which is account changing, because I realized one thing. There is a handful of characters in the game that, if you have them and you build them, they will completely change the way you experience Genshin Impact. Even due to their power level, or due to the convenience of their kit, or to the versatility of their kit. It's a bit difficult to rate them in the same way as other characters, so this tier will be for them. Let's start. Doggy Boy, Faruzan. Where is Sarah? Sarah here. And the Chocobo guy? Where is the Chocobo? Chocobo dude, please don't. I don't want to edit this video later just because I cannot find the Chocobo guy. Oh my god. Oh, here, okay. All of them are pretty bad characters, but if you build them well in the right team, and in some cases only at high constellations, they become good. I rank them pretty low because if you get, I don't know, a Sarah out of nowhere, Constellation 0, it's like basically no value for your account. Now, of course, if you have the right teams, they go up in value, but in a vacuum, that's their value. Mona is excellent. Noelle, similar disclaimers as usual. The day you start Genshin Impact, she's here because she has a claymore, she provides shield, healing and damage. The more characters you get, the lower she goes, and when you get Constellation 6 and you build her well, she goes up. In teams with just 4-star characters, I can fully clear the ABC easily, so she goes here for me. Xiao, excellent. Cookie, excellent. We all know the drill. She was one of the worst characters in the game together with Thoma, but Dendro and Hyper Bloom are busted, so she goes up a notch. Bennett got the tier. Account changing is a little bit different. You will understand better very soon. I consider Clea a little bit meh, not in terms of power level, but I don't like the playstyle at all. There are much more fun characters in the game to play. The first one that I put in account changing is John Lee, because the combination of a shield, defense, resistance reduction, and a very long animation on his burst, which results in a very long iframe, because everything is frozen. Well, turned to stone for his burst. And he's half of Georesonance. Well, of course, he's a Geo character. And you can give him a Favonius Lens and 4 pieces Millelith. He provides a lot of value to your team in all aspects of the game. You will never have to worry about getting interrupted. He's going to make your open world experience a joy, so he goes here. They look pretty okay. You can still make him work absolutely fine. Yaimiko, well, if you have Nahida and you can build good Dendro teams, she goes in God tier. In a vacuum, she goes here. Beidou, pretty okay. I don't know why, but recently we always get Abyss compositions that are full of bosses, and she's not really a great performer there. Yeah, you can see videos online with like Beidou, Bennett, Omega Wailed, Beidou one-shotting the universe, but I'm talking about average investment here for characters, not like, oh well, obviously 80 crit rate, 250 crit damage, fuck off. Nilo, excellent here. Travelers, pretty meh, put her here. Ganyu, account changing. A story that I mentioned a few times during my streams is that she was my first character when I started playing 2 years ago, and she completely skewed the perception of the difficulty of the game for me. Because basically everything that I was facing was charge a shot, they're at half hit points, charge a shot, they're dead. So there were some open world fight, some domains and some abysses that people were struggling and looking for advice, and I had no idea what we were talking about. Genshin Impact was my first gacha game. I thought that everyone, or at least the vast majority of people, had Ganyu. So I did not understand how they could struggle in the game. So if you have Ganyu, she's going to make the game very, very easy for you, even with a craftable weapon. Chi-Chi, I consider her excellent. She's a good character. If you play her as an off-field healer, she's pretty bad. If you play her as a physical damage dealer, she's pretty bad. If you play her with a Favonius Sword as an on-field driver, with our three characters being off-field damage dealers like Double Hydro, Yelan Shinchu, Fish, Albedo, whoever fits the stuff you're killing, she's going to do an incredible job. You have your team always at full hit points, she cannot be killed, Favonius weapon will give energy to everyone, she's going to be great. Not once have I missed the stars in the Abyss using Chi-Chi and 3 off-field damage dealers, and that's not considering the other team performance being like, well, the other team one-shot the chamber, and so you had 2 minutes and 50 for Chi-Chi. No. Chi-Chi lead the team. The clear time is always good enough for any other team to get 36 stars. Full stars in the Abyss, easily. Al-Haytham God tier. I had to wait for a friend of mine to get him and build some of the characters that we were building up to test him, and he's a fantastic character. Dendro is pretty busted, and he's a very, very good on-field Dendro driver. Really, really excellent character. Yelan is account changing because she does everything. Open world, Abyss, domains. Anything you throw at Yelan is going to demolish it, and she's going to make your open world traveling experience much better. I just made a video that is more than 5 minutes just shilling about Yelan and how good she is, and that you should pull for her during the run, and she definitely goes here. Xinyan. Sorry, my throat has been working questionably recently. Xianling, I will put her here in excellent tier. I cannot rate her higher just because Funnel Impact is awful. I've been playing her way more recently, like way more. I built many teams for her. I played her in, Bennett, Kazuha, that sort of team. I played her in Dendro teams to try some burning. Her performance is great. Her performance is definitely worthy of being here. But the whole team needs to funnel energy to her, and it's awful. Now, if you tell me that if you spend 25 million raising in all the required domains and every character in your team has the perfect amount of energy recharge, you will not need to worry about her own energy issues. Yeah, you can spend the same amount of raising with like Cookie, a random Hydro character and a random Dendro character, and one-shot anything with Hyper Bloom, so I cannot rate her much higher than that. Kazuha, we talk about it. Every tier list, he goes here. Nothing else to say about him. Hutao here, and I want Yomiya. Where is Yomiya? I cannot see Yomiya. Why? What happened to Yomiya? Here. I rate Yomiya a little bit lower than Hutao because Hutao, with the Shinchu, is an Abyss team. With proper investment, of course. I'm talking about, I would say at the bare minimum, a Constellation 1 Hutao with Homa and a high Constellation Shinchu. Those two can clear the Abyss most of the time, giving you enough time to 36 the Abyss. And with Yomiya, I cannot do the same thing. She needs more investment, and you really want her to not be interrupted so she can throw all her normal attacks, and she shines when you have elemental reactions. So she's a little bit more needy compared to Hutao, but in terms of power level, they would be on the same tier. It's just that she requires a little bit more attention, so I rank him a little bit lower, but it's still excellent tier. He's okay. Just not pretty okay, but he's okay. Collei, pretty meh. Most of her kit is why Mihoyo. At Constellation 6 she gets better. In general, I rank her a little bit higher just because Dendro is good, so being able to apply a little bit of Dendro is still better than no Dendro at all. Saya's a bit meh. Jean is excellent. Barbara's kit is very underwhelming. Very bad hydro application, and healing is nice, but whatever. You can use her as an on-field driver, but we get so many better options nowadays for budget teams that she lost a lot of value. We'll talk about you later. Shen, excellent. She has her own niche, and in her own niche, she's amazing. Raiden goes here because whether you build her as an hyper carry or you build her for, you know, hyper bloom stuff, she's amazing. With basically no investment, she's going to lead you to full stars in the Abyss and erasing everything on the map in the open world. So she's an absolutely fantastic character. Unfortunately, Amber goes here. Her kit is very underwhelming. Kokomi here, she's excellent. Did she end up? Yeah, okay. Wanderer, excellent. He's not on the same level as Alhaitham. Alhaitham, in terms of raw damage, is much better than him, regardless of what math says for specific team rotations. I don't look too much into that. I just look at how the team feels and how it performs. Alhaitham feels much better than the Wanderer. In terms of exploration, Scarad is here, but valuing the kit as a whole, I cannot consider him as good as Alhaitham. Fischl God tier. She was so good before Dendro, and she's even gooder with Dendro. Okay, the current Abyss takes a dump into Ayaka's soul. It's really bad for her between the Warlord in one side and the PMA in the other side. But in general, she's a god tier damage dealer. Yaya, I consider her an account-changing character. And the reason is not necessarily for her power level, but because she covers a niche that she's the only one who is able to cover, which is Dendro Healer. And it sounds like a very limited thing to do, but being able to heal and apply Dendro on or off field, it's incredibly valuable. Because there are many team compositions that for the first few months for Dendro were like one Dendro character, an Electro, a Hydro. I really want a healer, I wish it was Dendro, and she does that. So whether you play her in double Dendro plus 2 other units, or you play her as the sole Dendro unit on field with the other 3 providing elemental stuff, she does something that no one else can do as a healer. So I consider her account changing for that, just because her kit is so good and versatile. Builder if you're not builder. Sacro's pretty okay. Chonger's pretty okay. Dory... consider her pretty excellent, actually. Yeah. I'm staring at the monitor for a moment. She's between here and here, but I refuse to make another tier list and I put her here. Her healing is much better than Cookie. Her energy regeneration, if you build her with the Sacrificial Greatsword, is much better than Cookie, and you can funnel it into other characters. But if you want to build her for full Elemental Mastery to do Hyper Bloom shenanigans, she will have some energy recharge issues. So you need to balance things a little bit with her. In teams where you have an on-field carry who wants energy recharge, I would take her, no question asked. In Hyper Bloom teams, Cookie is better. They're both very good characters. People will say, well, Dory is trash. They have not built Dory. They have not played her. She's not a Genshin Impact character. Tainar is excellent. Venti... probably together with Clay. Every time that I make a tier list and I rate Venti low, there are people like, well, obviously Venti is the best. Venti is only good when he gets a rerun because the Abyss is full of Hilichurs and treasure hoarders. I don't play kill Hilichur camps Impact, so he has very little utility for me. The gap between these two characters is basically the same gap between me and Brad Pitt, I would say. So that Venti is here for me. You feel free to make your own list and put Venti above everything. She's a bit meh. because she didn't get any help. There were many Geo characters released in the last few years, and she didn't get any help from any of them, so it feels a bit bad. I play Candace a lot, so many people will say, oh no, Sir Grandalt is biased. He's going to put her... No, her kit is very Waimi Hoyo. She can work, I like to play her, she's fun to play, you can do some weird shenanigans with her, but I have still not found a thing for which, that's it, we need Candace in this team. Not yet, maybe in the future. She's here, she has her own niche, and I got her Constellation 6 from the Standard banner recently. I need to build her one of these days. Itto is excellent. Nahida, account changing. Nahida has 3 tiers, which are Constellation 0, 2 and 6. At Constellation 0, she's going to allow you to do Dendro reactions in a very large AoE regardless of where you're actually looking, so even to enemies behind you. Very consistent Dendro application, good energy recharge, and a burst that has fantastic utility. At Constellation 2, it's like Constellation 0, but every now and then you see 50k damage out of nowhere for no reason. Every few seconds, and you're like, okay. And then at Constellation 6, the game is basically over. Amazing character. Absolutely amazing character. Shinchu got the tier. These 3 characters in terms of support and off-field shenanigans are absolutely incredible. He's between meh and pretty okay. I know there are some Dendro shenanigan teams with him that make him a little bit more valuable, so I will rank him a little bit higher than characters like Heizo or Venti. It's not amazing, but you can make him work. I value Yanfei higher because as a 4-star character, the amount of damage she can dish out is ludicrous. You can have her as your carry in a lot of Abyss teams, open world teams, and she's easy to play, easy to build, absolutely fantastic character. Rosaria pretty okay. I basically decided to build this tier, the pretty okay tier, mostly for characters like Rosaria and Shinchu and Eido, because yeah, they're good, but they're not really like Miko or Kokomi, but they're not even as bad as Traveler or Venti, so where to rate them? Ayato here is a very good character. Albedo, I think I start to lower Albedo's ranking a little bit. It's probably going to change when we get newer and better Geo support characters, but for the time being, he lost a little bit of value. Because double Geo is not really the best option for a lot of teams. And in triple Geo he's good. Very often with Itto you always have Albedo and Goro. But that's very limited. It doesn't mean that he's bad, he's very good, I'm happy that I have him, but it's a bit difficult to play him without... while ignoring the fact that there are better options. Fischl, excellent, Dendro revitalized her. Layla, have I already put Diona? No. Pretty okay, together with Diona. They feel a similar role. In some teams I prefer Layla, in some teams I prefer Diona. They're both pretty good characters. I personally prefer Layla a little bit more, just a little bit, but they're both pretty good. Sino is excellent. Toma, similar disclaimer as Cookie. I rank him a little bit lower than Cookie just because he doesn't really provide a lot, apart from triggering Burgeon and having a fairly weak shield. A bit of healing for me is more valuable, and Hyper Bloom is more broken than Burgeon. But he's still pretty good character now. Okay, pretty okay. Child excellent. Eula excellent. I will put her together with these other supports here, because the teams in which she works are fairly limited. Essentially, she's very good with Ayato, she's very good with Yomiya. Other than that, you're coping a little bit. Like, I play her with Noelle because she gives Noelle bigger numbers, but I know that in terms of overall damage output and energy regeneration, Albedo would be better. But Yunjin gives better numbers to Noelle, so it makes my brain release more endorphins, like it makes me happier. But in general, she's good, but not really amazing. Let's talk about Dehya for a moment. I think that what miHoYo wanted to do with Dehya, let's remove a non-Genshin Impact character for a moment, is that we currently have 2 layers of defense in the game, shield and healing. And miHoYo wanted to add a 3rd layer of defense. And if you have not seen the leaks about Dehya, well, let me enlighten you. The way Dehya's kit works is that while she's off field and your other characters take damage, half of that damage will go to her. And it will be reduced, I believe. And I find it interesting because I thought about it, and there are some teams that I run in the Abyss where I do not really need a healer, and I do not really need a shield, but if I had either of those, my life would be a little bit easier. So I see where they were going with her kit. The problem is that... Oh, and to further elaborate on that, in that kind of team you always have 3 characters that provide a lot of damage and they need a little bit of sustain. It can be, for example, Hu Tao Double Hydro. Hu Tao Double Hydro is a perfect example. Yeah, the shield from Zhongli is nice, but you don't really worry too much about getting interrupted with Hu Tao, because you're always doing charge attack, dash. I very rarely get hit with Hu Tao. I don't think I would be playing Dehya in that team, but you know, it's just to give you an example of the kind of team I'm talking about. Like, you have 3 damage dealers that they can do their own thing, but you want a little bit of sustain. I think that's what miHoYo wanted to do with the Dehya. Like, she stays off field most of the time, then suddenly, as a panic button, she gets on screen, she starts to punch people in their faces, she heals up, because she can also self-heal, and then after she's done doing her own thing, you go back to your other characters and you do damage. The problem is that her elemental skill doesn't do anything. There are people saying, well, obviously you reverse melt, you vape. No, stop it. Stop. And her elemental burst deals very little damage and costs quite a bit. So she's not doing anything in the team. Some people compare it to a worse Xinyan. I kinda agree at the moment. If you told me, well, Sir Grindelot, your account has been hacked, you don't have Zhongli, and you are now cursed. In your Hu Tao Double Hydro team, you can only choose between Dehya or Barbara. Who would you rather have? I would have Barbara. So that if anyone dies, he will get automatically resurrected by her Constellation 6. And if no one dies and a little bit of healing, she can heal. I mean, she does not provide anything with the kit she has at the moment in the beta. I'm recording this on the 28th of January, so there is still a little bit of hope. But the problem that I have with her is that, and this is becoming a very long rant about Dehya, there are 2 ways to fix the current kit that she has. One is you change the kit completely. Like, you give up and you admit defeat and you say, okay guys, this is fucked. Let's change it completely. Let's make her into a hyper carry. Option number 2 is you make her burst deal damage that is comparable to almost her burst. Actually, it could be comparable to her damage, to her burst damage, because she does not benefit from Yelan, Shinshu, so she would be already nerfed just by virtue of that. But if the moment that you put her on screen she dealt, boom, 400,000 pyro damage, followed by, you know, punches for 50k, only for 4 seconds, just, you know, to make it a little bit more balanced, then we would be talking. But the way it looks now, she doesn't do anything. She doesn't feel like a character of Genshin Impact, which is a pity, because her character and design, like the characterization, the lore, the design is amazing, but her kit is so cursed. So cursed. So that's my rating for all the characters of the patch 3.4 and beyond. Let me have a quick look, because I did it live for the first time, so I want to make sure that there is nothing that I would change. Other than lowering Venti a little bit more. No, maybe not. He goes at least here. Yeah, I think that's about it. It's a good sign that most of the characters are good, / very good, / pretty okay, workable in a lot of teams, because it means that overall miHoYo for the most part, is doing a good job at developing characters with a few questionable things every now and then that only happen in 4-star characters though. So far, all the 5-star characters have been pretty good, so let's see what will happen with the after her release. I will be checking out. Bye guys, take care.